Hello, welcome to Open Fit. I'm Donna, and I have a 20-minute practice for restful sleep. We're gonna slow down, turn in, and get you ready to let go of the day and prepare yourself for a nice, restful sleep. Let's go ahead and get started. Make sure your heart rate monitor is on and ready to go, and let's begin in a child's pose. So begin with your big toes together and your knees slightly apart, and just walk yourself forward. Come to a place wherever it feels comfortable to you. So if extending your arms out in front of you is not comfortable, you can open your hands a little wider apart. Another option is that you can bring your hands back by your feet. Pick one that works for you. And just settle into your breath. This practice, we are going to slow down, turn in, and let the day go. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat, and you could come up onto your fingertips. And just feel a nice stretch here in the left side of your body. I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Really begin this process of turning into yourself. Walk your hands over to the other side of your mat. Again, come up onto your fingertips. Settle into the shape and breathe into the right side of your body. Come back to the middle. Extend your arms out long, send your hips back. Allow your head to hang here. We're going to begin this process of transitioning from day into night. And intentionally letting the day go, letting whatever happened, whatever didn't happen, whatever you got to, whatever you didn't, just let it go. Take a nice deep breath in and a long breath out. Come to a tabletop position. Tuck your toes underneath, spread your fingers nice and wide, and move to a downward facing dog. You can walk your feet back a little bit so you have a long enough dog. Bend your knees and move your hips up toward the sky. Slowly walk your feet to your hands. Keep your hands touching the ground. When you get there, have your toes pointing forward. Just drop your head here. Bend your knees and make contact with your chest so that your chest and your thighs are touching. So really allow the head to drop here. Make this super passive and heavy. Send your right leg back into a lunge. Put your right knee down. Make sure your left knee is over your left ankle and just settle here. So feel your feet pressing down. Allow your pelvis to be heavy. You can close your eyes. Think of softening your skin. Lift your back knee up off the mat and step your back foot forward to meet your front foot and come back to that forward fold. And because we're transitioning into the night and getting ready for sleep, we want this to be passive and heavy and quiet. So I absolutely want you to bend your knees here and let your chest and your thighs touch. And send your left leg back into a lunge. Put your left knee down. And again, first just settle. Close your eyes And feel your body begin to get a little bit heavier here. Lift your back knee up. Take your back foot, step it forward, and come back to your forward fold. This time, hold your elbows. Keep your knees bent and hold your elbows like a rag doll. You can think of your thoughts really just dripping away from the top of your head. Intentionally, purposefully let go. Bring your fingertips back down to the mat and send your right leg back. Put your right knee down. This time, walk your left foot out and turn your left toes out a little bit so it's a little bit more externally rotated. And you just soften here. You can bend your elbows a little bit. If it works, you can come down onto your elbows. On your inhale, come back up. Bring your left foot forward. Lift your right knee and step it forward. Let's take lizard on the other side. Step your right foot back, your left foot back. Put your knee down. Walk your right foot to the right edge of your mat. Just turn it out slightly. And again, you can come down onto your elbows if that works. If that doesn't work, you bend your elbows, just getting a little closer to the earth here. Allow your intention to be one of slowing down, of turning in, of letting go. This time, step it back to a downward facing dog. Get heavy with your hands, like your hands are settling into mud or sand. Lift your hips up high. And come to a plank pose. Put your knees down and just melt to the ground. Squeeze your upper back. Just one baby cobra here. Lift up and hover your hands up off the mat. Just feel the engagement of your upper back. Put your hands down, tuck your toes, send your hips back toward your heels. Little puppy pose here, and then lift your hips up for downward facing dog. Walk back to the front of your mat. Let your head be heavy. Step your right leg back into a lunge, and then pivot your toes around for a wide-legged forward fold. Bend your knees. And just let your head hang here. I invite you to close your eyes. I invite you to begin the journey inside. And start to lift your hips up a little bit if that feels okay in your body. And then just very gently bend into the left knee just a little bit. And sway back and forth, bend into the right. You could come up onto your fingertips if that feels good. You can keep your hands flat if that feels good. Just a little swaying action in the upper body. Slow, quiet. And come back to the middle. Bend your knees again. And lift your hips up as you start to straighten your legs maybe a little bit more. Slowly walk yourself back around to face the front of your mat and step it back to a downward facing dog. Close your eyes here. Take a nice deep breath in and a long breath out. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, really let go, let go, let go. Bring your right knee to your right wrist. Point your right toes back. Walk your left foot back and come down onto your elbows. Even though we're working in the slow way, still stay engaged. So squeeze your legs in slightly, and then just settle your hips down, even melt in between your shoulder blades. Think of one thing that you can let go of. Sometimes we're holding on to things we didn't get to or what happened during the day, and it prevents us from really going into that restful sleep. And our minds are still working so much. So intentionally let go. Whatever happened doesn't matter. It's in the past. Whatever didn't happen doesn't matter. In your inhale, walk your hands back up. Move to a down dog. Bring your left knee to your left wrist. Point your left toes back. Walk your foot back and come down onto your elbows. And begin to turn in and pay attention to your breath and any sensations that are happening in your body. And your inhale, start to come up. Place your hands, move it back, last downward facing dog. Bend your knees, send your hips up. Feel your hands very heavy into the mat. And slowly walk to the front of your mat. Keep your fingertips touching the ground. Come back to your forward fold, bend your knees, let your head hang. Super heavy and passive and quiet. Inviting your body to begin to slow down, to turn in, to let go, to get ready for rest. Come up onto your fingertips and open your feet out a little wider. Turn your toes out slightly and come in for a squat. Don't worry about how far you go. So if you're up a little bit higher, it's fine. Use your elbows on the inside of your knees and just press your knees out. Try to stay up nice and tall in your upper body. And when you're ready, go ahead and take a seat. If you have a block or a book handy, go ahead and grab that for something that we'll be doing shortly. So if you want to go ahead and grab that now, go ahead and do that. And then meet me back here on the mat. Extend your right leg forward and fold your left knee in. Sit up nice and tall. Turn over the leg and grab hold wherever you can on the outside of that right leg. Take a little twist here in the upper body and then send your head forward. You can gaze down at your leg. These forward folds really start to turn in. And they down-regulate the nervous system, which helps us get ready for rest. On your inhale, come all the way up, change legs. So your heart rate, you might even notice that your heart rate is going down. And that's exactly what this practice is designed to do, is to lower your heart rate, to down-regulate your nervous system to get you ready to sleep. Turn over the left leg. Grab hold of the outside of the left foot. Take that little twist. Yeah, a little twist there, wringing it out, and then fold forward. As you inhale, come on up. Extend your legs out in front of you. Find your sitting bones, right? From right to left, see if you can find those little bones, sit up on them. If you need a little height, always grab a blanket or a pillow and sit up on that. That sometimes can help tip your pelvis forward. Hinge at your hips and grab your feet. If you need to bend your knees, grab your feet. And with your hands on your feet, you can use that to pull your chest forward. If you can straighten your legs, go ahead and straighten your legs. If you need to keep your knees bent, that's fine too. And then send the crown of your head and your chest forward. And then for this one, start to fold into yourself, even with your knees bent. As long as there's no pain in your low back, allow yourself to fold into yourself here. If you can push your legs down and straighten them a little bit more, go for that. On your inhale, come on up. All right, grab that block or a book and open your legs out to the side. And if you don't have one, don't worry. Just put it there in between your legs. Twist over your left leg. We're not going to use it just yet. Just twist over your left leg. And then you can walk your hands out and start to bow over that left leg. This is more about turning into yourself than it is about getting some deep stretch, right? It's really more about this idea of a little twist and then bowing into yourself. So go wherever your body goes. Do not push it. Your inhale, come on up, change sides. So twist over the right leg. So that twist is a good ringing action. It's detoxifying for the body. And then as you bow forward, listen to your body, go slow. Again, it's not about getting some crazy deep stretch here. It's this process of turning into ourselves so that we can really get ourselves ready for a nice, deep, restful sleep. Come back to the middle. So this is where the block can be it can help us restore in this pose a little bit more. If it doesn't work for you, you can just toss the block to the side. So if you have a block or a book, you can put it out in front of you and just let your forehead rest on it. Now, sometimes you need 2 blocks, right? Sometimes the block might need to come up a little bit higher. Go wherever it works for you. And again, if the block doesn't work, just toss it off to the side. You can do this absolutely without a block by just bowing forward a little bit. And as you inhale, come all the way up. Bring your legs together. Give yourself a little shake. Cross your legs. Let's just take a few breaths here before we finally rest. So come to a cross-legged seat. Bring your hands onto your thighs and close your eyes. We're just going to do some nice belly breaths here. And breathe into your belly and feel your belly expand. And as you exhale, feel your belly move toward your spine. So some deep belly breaths. Go at your own time, in your own rhythm, but encouraging yourself to slow down your breath. If it helps, you can even put your hand on your belly so that you can feel the belly rise and fall. Take one more. And release. Slowly open your eyes and make your way onto your back. You can hug your knees into your chest. Just give yourself a little hug here. Put your feet on the mat and let your knees knock in toward each other. And then reach around and give yourself a nice hug here. Constructive rest. Close your eyes and allow your body to feel very heavy. can stay here if it's comfortable, or you can open up to a shavasana. For the next few moments, just keep your eyes closed and your body heavy. Take a nice deep breath in and a long breath out. Bend your knees and roll over onto your right side. And pause there. And use your hands to push yourself up to a seat. Move slow. And together, take a nice deep breath in. And a long breath out. Thank you so much for joining me for that 20-minute practice for sleep. Go curl up into bed and have a nice restful sleep, and I will see you on the mat again. Good night.